Welcome to tonight's USL Pro game here at Dixon Field on the sports complex of Queens University of Charlotte. I'm Hunter Banks, and joining me is Mitch Samford. Mitch, we've got a great game coming up tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good
Papaya, Rosabaum, Patron, and the lone striker is Colin Rolfe. And now for Charlotte, in goal is Alec Can. The back line is Richard Dixon, Johnny Leathers, Bilal Duckett, and J.J. Greer. Midfield is Ben Noonan, Wells Thompson, Juan Guzman. And the forwards are Drew Russell, Jorge Herrera, and newcomer Gideon Asante.
Yeah, so a lineup that hasn't played together a ton. So it'll be interesting to see how that takes shape through training this week. Develop some continuity with some new players in different positions. See if they can turn that into some positive attacking play. Get the new signee Asante involved in the game. Russell, a young player that they'll be playing at the center striker position. See if he can hold the ball up and allow some players to run off him, especially Herrera, the veteran captain, coming in with 7 goals, far and away the leading talisman for the Eagles. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to see what some of these young players, new players can bring to the game, trying to prove themselves at this level as we close up the season.
Another interesting thing to note, Ben Noonan playing in the midfield again tonight. He's been haven't quite made up his mind as far as where he's going to play, or the coaches haven't.
Sure, he's been used as a wide back, as a wide midfielder, as a central midfielder. Here he is on the ball. Looks like he's going to be playing alongside Juan Guzman in the center of the midfield. That long ball, well handled by Hoffer. Back to Softner in the net.
Looking to feed it up to Rolfe. Unable to. Noonan back to Leathers. And new signing Asante getting his first touch. Not the most successful first touch. Now Slogic. That's going to be a foul on Gideon Asante. Coming in hard on Josie Sanchez.
He just a new player early in the game, excited, wanting to get in and make a play. Got there a split second late, caught Sanchez. They'll put it down and keep playing.
Slogic now.
And we say this, I feel like every Eagles home game, but the surface can be a little tricky. As you saw that ball get caught up underneath the feet of Petroni, and the turf here at Dixon Field can take a little getting used to, something Charlotte might be able to take advantage of early on in the game, a higher level of comfort on the turf surface.
Richard Dixon. Now Wells Thompson, Herrera trying to play it back to Thompson. Dixon, now Herrera. Going to take a break as the ref calls it. Calling the trainers on for Wells Thompson.
With it being a head injury, they're going to call the trainers out right away. Thompson collided heads there on that give and go pass that popped up in the air off of Herrera. Not sure exactly who it was he collided with. Getting a shake of hands from Roseboom, so it may have been the two of them that collided, competing for that 50-50 challenge.
Walls is going to send it back. Now Dixon, Vu defending. Long throw in to Russell. That's out for the throw in.
Now the ref will allow Thompson back onto the pitch. Good to see him, no worse for the wear, back involved in the match.
Dixon getting in front of that. Guzman connecting with Herrera. Herrera trying to feed it forward to Russell. But it's cleared out into the stands by Pat Slogich. Dixon. That's off of Vu for another Eagles throw in. Long throw in into Ben Noonan. Now Huapea. Over to Sanchez. And Hoffer sending it forward. Guzman now for the Eagles. Back to Johnny Leathers. J.J. Greer trying to boom ball it up. Gets it to Drew Russell on the wing.
Well done by Russell there.
It's going to be off of Slogich for a Eagles throw-in. Corner kick.
Rochester claiming that as Russell approached the ball on the end line, he got a big piece of Slogich there, and as he had the ball go off him for a corner kick. But Russell able to contest the header, get to the second ball, and force Slogich to play it out over the end line.
And Herrera sends this one in over everybody in the box. Asante goes back to Thompson. Thompson crosses it up, and Herrera.
Good look by Thompson to bypass the crowd there in front of the goal. Find Herrera, who had a good idea to double that back across the face of the goal. Just got a little too close to the keeper. But you had Russell and maybe Greer, who would come up for the corner, lurking in there at about the top of the six. Bring that back a couple of yards, and could have been really dangerous.
Now Josie Sanchez getting past Asante. Now trying to cross it. And it's going to be off of Duckett for a Rhinos corner kick. Looks like it's going to be Patron trotting over to take the corner.
Looks like in attack, Hopeo is going to try and jump up top a little bit.
Curling it in, looking for Slogich.
It's a big
boy. Makes contact, but goes wide of the post.
He's a likely target when you see him standing next to the other players. Had a really good look at it, but it just wide of the far post. That was a good look from about 6 yards out.
Duckett now Leathers, and that's off of Patron for a Charlotte throw in. Misplayed there by Hoffer. Slogich and Russell. Slogich gets to it first, clears it.
Well done to keep that in bounds, keep that in play, and now Rochester picks up the second ball, and off they go.
Over to Walls. Slogich now. Garzi, Huapea. Trying to thread it through, but cut off by Johnny Leathers. Now Wells Thompson trying to get something started for the Eagles. Over to Asante. A nice poke tackle from Sanchez there. And now Leathers. Goes all the way back to Duckett.
Appeared to be some momentum going forward there from Charlotte, but brought all the way back.
Thompson, Russell, Thompson unable to make contact, and it's going to be out for the Eagles throw-in. Quickly taken by Dixon, and his shot goes over the post.
I think he was caught in between there, whether to serve that or put his foot through it, and ended up just slicing a ball that Sofner was able to watch go easily high and wide. So far, so good, though, from Russell as the center forward for the Eagles, holding the ball up, getting it into his feet, and finding runners coming off him. Not an easy job to do.
Slogich tracking back and getting this one. His pass cut off by Guzman. Now Dixon going back to Duckett. Colin Rolfe harassing Duckett a little bit. Greer's pass didn't have quite enough on it to get to Johnny Leathers. And then that's going to be off of Duckett for a Rochester throw-in.
Seemed like Duckett conceded that throw-in rather easily. It had an opportunity to get a touch and get something back up the field.
Trying to find Vu. Manages to.
That's not going to make the Rochester bench happy. Vu clearly allowed that ball to go out of bounds, believing it had come off of the Charlotte defender. But you'll see in defense, so right now, Vu and Haupeo will drop off and help support in the midfield, but then as Rochester gets the attack, those wide midfielders and Haupeo will press forward and try and join Rolfe, create a bit of a four-man attack. You're going to have Garzi and Roseboom just sitting in, playing a much more defensive role in the midfield. There's Roseboom on the ball right now, combining with Garzi.
Garzi over to Hoffer. Hoffer was trying to thread it through to Josie Sanchez off of Russell. Sanchez with the throw in. Huapeo, Rosebaum. Now Walls.
Good bit of footwork there from Walls coming up the left side.
Sanchez, Huapeo.
Clever pick out there.
That's going to be off of Leathers for the Rochester corner. Good of Leathers to get back and deflect that out of immediate danger as they had Rolfe and Vu in the box in prime position waiting.
That was Garzi that snuck forward, I think, from his defensive midfield position.
Again, trying to find Slogich and Hoffer. Rosebaum. And Vu. And crosses it. J.J. Greer managing to get there and clear it out of immediate danger.
Well done by Ken. If that ball gets by him, it was a Rhino waiting to get a simple tap in. Had to get a piece of that and did.
Hall goes back to Slogich. He goes all the way over to Sanchez. Huapeo. Garzi trying to feed it up to Sanchez, but that's going to go out for an Alec Can goal kick. Greer now to Noonan. He goes over to Leathers. Asante. Wells Thompson. He crosses it over. Richard Dixon trying to find Drew Russell, who teed it up for Thompson. That's going to go out for the Charlotte Eagles throw in.
Love that ball from Dixon into Russell's feet. It seemed really obvious to lay it out wide to Guzman, and I think as the defense was shifting, that's where they expected the ball to go, and he slid a great ball in there to Russell. Good composure to lay that simple touch off for Thompson. Could have found its way through the defender. Could have been a lot of trouble.
Long throw in, and Slogich heading it out of the box. And now Duckett, Noonan, Guzman, and Dixon, Herrera. A little miscommunication between Herrera and Thompson. And now Vu. Back to Walls. Into Garzi. Roseboom. Garzi. Sanchez. Patron. Trying to connect with Vu. It's going to be headed out by Dixon. Slogich getting tied up there, having to get the back pass to Softener.
As we approach 16 minutes played, both teams have been able to get their foot on the ball, connect some passes, build a little bit of confidence in the attack. There's another good ball from Dixon to pick out Noonan.
Noonan goes over to Leathers. Leathers trying to find Asante. He was cut off by Sanchez. Now Huapeu. Garzi. Patron.
I was going to say, as we played 16 minutes here, both teams getting a good feel for the ball and being able to build a little confidence. Nothing in the way of great chances, you would say, at this point. But other than the corner kick header from Slogich, but I think both teams will feel confident that they can string some passes together and create opportunities. Both teams seem willing to combine and connect, move off the ball, get numbers forward.
Now all the way back to Softener. Over to Slogich.
We'll see how Rochester plays things out as we move further into the game. Haven't played last night. How they manage substitutions, how many numbers they continue to commit forward.
Slogich looking for Rolfe. Bad first touch from Greer forces him to clear it out for the Rochester throw-in.
Yeah, it got caught under his feet, but to be honest, good decision by Greer. Don't compound one bad touch with trying to be a hero and make something happen. At that point, the right play was to just put it out of bounds.
Garzi with the back heel. Now Roseboom. His long shot deflects off of Noonan. Wall chips it over to Sanchez. Sanchez looking for Vu. That's going to be out for a Eagles goal kick.
Herrera there, who got taken out in that collision that led to the goal kick. Been nursing a hamstring injury most of the week. Has really only trained Thursday, Friday leading into the game. So we'll see what he's got in the tank, how long he can go. Vital part of the Eagles' attack. But they do have Drew Yates, Guy Brandau, Zach Boggs, a couple attacking options on the bench. But Herrera is a guy you'd like to have out there for as long as you can. His experience, his knowledge of the game, quality on the ball, ability to deliver the final pass and to score the goal. Hopefully the hamstring holds up. He can be a vital part of the Eagles' attack this evening.
Alec Can trotting over. Now Greer. Thompson over to Duckett. Thompson. It's going to be a foul on Thompson as he pulled Rolfe down, and Rolfe, holding his ankle, might have turned it.
Yeah, Thompson had a couple of looks early. Could have put a ball in behind to Noonan, who was running through out of the midfield, or to Herrera. But once he took a couple extra touches, those runs ran out. Options ran out, and he got stuck in a 1v1 battle with Rolfe. Big, strong center forward. Looks like he's going to be able to walk off the knock he took there.
Walls over to Hoffer. Sanchez. Now Huapeo. Slipping it into Roseboom. Nice tackle from Juan Guzman there. But Rochester immediately wins possession back. Now Slogich.
Yeah, you work hard to win that ball back. You need to connect that first pass and get out of pressure. Force Rochester to drop back in defensively.
A gray Ford Focus, North Carolina tag WE6002, and a gray Nissan Altima, North Carolina tag BKD.
Now Duckett over to Leathers, feeding it up to Russell. That's going to be off of Hoffer for the Eagles throw-in.
Watching Rolfe up top, and he's still a little ginger on that ankle, trying to get it back to 100%.
Walls, his header's going to go out for a Charlotte throw-in. He's not happy with himself.
No, had the option of putting it out wide. He was underneath it. perhaps could have even let it go beyond himself and out for a throw-in for Rochester, but felt like he needed to play it, but not for a corner.
Sent in Noonan and Walls. Now Thompson goes back to Leathers.
Rochester was slow to get out there. Felt like Charlotte could have been more aggressive there, Leathers and Thompson, to get back at him.
Foul on Dixon. And Rolfe is down again. Away from that foul.
Yeah, that same ankle, right ankle that was bothering him after the foul from Thompson. A lot of bright orange t-shirts in the crowd this evening. Kids who've been a part of the Charlotte Eagles soccer camp program this summer, wearing their shirts to the game tonight. Good to see them out watching their coaches that they've had throughout the summer play in the match tonight. So for these kids who've been a part of the Eagles day camp program, these guys that are on the field tonight have been their coaches in the summer camp program that the Eagles run throughout the Charlotte area. So for many of the players that you see out there, it's a week of camp from 9 to 3, followed by training from 4 to 6. So a lot of time out in the Charlotte sun. That's a bad giveaway there from Walls. But Thompson collects. Well done by Guzman to get it back to him.
Now Thompson looking for Russell. And Slogich handles it, eliminates the immediate danger.
I was going to say that these guys put in a lot of work out in the sun from 9 to 6, and then turn around and play on the weekend.
Russell unable to get up there. Finds its way to Greer. Now it's over to Noonan, Asante. Feeding it to Russell. And his pass to Asante wasn't where he wanted it. Guzman over to Asante. Noonan, Guzman, Greer. Duckett. Guzman. Looking for Leathers, cut off by Sanchez. Leathers with a nice seal out there to keep Huapeo from getting to it. Wins a throw in.
Yeah, Rolfe comes back on into the action after having gone off with that ankle injury. Going to give it another go, see how it does. So we're back to 11 aside.
Now Greer. Russell. Guzman looking for Dixon on the wing.
It's going to hold up. Well done.
Dixon poked it through Wall's legs, but Slogich gets there and clears it.
Great touch from Guzman to drop that ball in the space back there, keep it in bounds, but really Dixon unable to do much with it, running himself into the corner to collect it.
And now Garzi feeding it up, looking for Huapeo. He and Duckett are racing. Huipeu gets past Duckett. He's got Rolfe. But that was off of Duckett. Going to be a corner kick for the Rochester Rhinos. Good bit of skill there from Huipeu to get past Bilal Duckett.
Yeah, and then it came off the inside of Duckett's heel and had Kahn frozen there. He was hoping it would go outside the post, and it did, just hitting the side net. But for another Rochester corner, keep your eye on number 4, Pat Slojic.
Curling in and is punched out by Can. Garzi dispossessed by Guzman. Now Herrera on the counter. Roseboom
Fortunate.
Gets to it, now feeds it to Herrera. A bad pass over to J.J. Greer, who came up as part of that counter.
Yeah, sometimes the best time to get a goal on a team is if you can win the initial corner kick. They've committed a lot of numbers forward. If you can break out of that and create some numbers, get a good counterattack going, which the Eagles were able to do there.
Newnham, Asante, poked out by Josie Sanchez.
Yeah, I think Greer saw the opportunity, saw the counterattack on, and burst forward. And Herrera is usually more accurate on the delivery than that. Penalty given, I think, here.
It's going to be a handball. I think it was called on Slogich. So Jorge Herrera is going to step up, try to give the Eagles the lead.
Yeah, Duckett came forward for the long throw, was able to get the initial touch. Don't know that Slojic knew much about it, but clearly Duckett won the first header, and then it came off of Slojic's arm to keep it from getting through to Herrera on the back post.
And Herrera slots it home. That's his 8th goal of the year. And giving the Eagles a great lead. 15 minutes from halftime. See if they can hold on to that and go into halftime with the momentum. But Jorge Herrera, I don't know if I've ever seen him miss a PK.
He's pretty composed. Whether in the flow of play or on set pieces, tremendous composure, technical finisher.
And now Minvu back to Slogich. That's off of Guzman.
It's been a pretty back and forth first half. Like we said, not a lot of great chances. So first real big break of the game goes the way of the Eagles. The handball there, the 30th minute or so. Herrera able to convert on the penalty.
Looks like we're going to have a substitution coming up in a little bit for Rochester. It's going to be, I think it's going to be Alex Sundley is going to come on. Listed as a midfielder. Charlotte feeding this one up to Russell. That's going to be a goal kick. As Hoffer came back, defended it well, and ricocheted off of Russell.
Russell's done well up there. Young player, hasn't gotten a lot of time throughout the season, but he's been effective to just get a hold of the ball, make the center backs work, allow players to come forward. Unfortunate there that had it come back off of him and out for a goal kick.
Dixon just poking that one forward. It's going to be Sundley coming on for Rolfe here in a moment.
Yeah, if you had to guess, you think it's just that Rolfe's ankle isn't going to be able to hold up, allow him to go. See what they do, but I would think introducing a midfielder that would put him into that spot.
I think they'll slide Huapeo.
Exactly, yeah.
Up to the striker. The Slogich was trying to feed that one through for either Vu or Rolfe. And Thompson with it in the box. Tees it up for Russell, and his shot goes well wide. And we are going to have that substitution now. As Colin Rolfe is going to come off.
Unfortunate for him. You can see his disappointment.
But you can also see his limp as he's going off the field. Sundley's going to come on. It looks like they're going to slide Huapeu up.
Yeah, and Sundley's going to fit right into that recessed forward attacking mid position.
Now Vu threading it in. Sundley. Garzi. Over to Sanchez. Roseboom. Back to Walls. Looking for Huapeu. Finds him. And Huapeu unable to do anything with it. That's going to be a Eagles goal kick.
Great ball, though, from Walls to pick out Huapeu slipping in the backside. Got that up over Leathers right into a spot where Huapeu could get on it. Might have done well to just try and put it back across the front of the goal in one touch. Hope for some runners.
Now over to Leathers. Duckett. Leathers and Duckett, former teammates with Vancouver Whitecaps, as Russell unable to do anything with that. And Sanchez pokes it out for the corner kick. Duckett and Greer are going to trot forward.
It might seem like he just ran onto it and held it, and the defender kicked it out for a corner kick. But I'll tell you, Coach Mark Steffens will be very content with that if he can get that out of Russell. Get the first touch, win a corner.
Herrera, shot on goal. Stopped by Luis Softner, excuse me.
That was all designed, Hunter. That touch out wide. Herrera runs around it. Play to the near post to Guzman, who lays it back up top to Herrera. Pretty intricate stuff for a corner kick, but nearly came off for Charlotte.
We've seen that a lot this year for the Eagles, but that's the first time where it's looked particularly dangerous.
And I think it's a result of the fact that you have Duckett, who's got some height and is good in the air, but and you've got Noonan and Thompson and Greer who will battle in the air, but you don't have like a Slogic that Rochester has, just a presence that if you give them a good ball, you're gonna get looks at goal off it. So you have to kind of create opportunities through things like those short corners.
And
Gideon Asante taking the tumble there.
And he is not feeling it. It looks like he came down wrong on his arm.
It didn't appear to be the initial contact with the defender. It was more an awkward landing coming out of the tackle.
He's going to be helped up by a referee. And he'll walk it off as the Eagles have Drew Yates warming up.
Along with Guy Brandau. Now it looks like Zach Boggs getting into his paces as well. And Asante up and at him. Back over to his left wing position.
Hoffer back to Slogich. Garzi. Hoffer. Threading his way through. And now Sundley. And
some miscommunication there, but Guzman wasn't quite able to get control of it, take advantage of it.
Now back to Hoffer.
It looks like Charlotte's got Yates ready to come in. Each team making a substitution before halftime. Don't see that very often.
Looks like he's going to be coming on for Drew Russell, which is a bit surprising for me.
Yeah.
Being this one forward for Asante, and he's waiting for some help.
Yeah, just thought that Herrera was going to keep running through, straight through, and then Herrera broke off his run to come back inside. Let me see Russell limping a little bit. Don't know if he picked up a knock, a muscle pull, maybe holding the hamstring just a little bit.
Misplay there, and Walls clears it. Greer trying to connect with Thompson. Now Yates. Yates is tied for the league lead in assists with 7.
Yeah, it's a little bit backwards for Charlotte, who's got their top assist guy running through the middle as a forward and their top goal scorer out as a winger. Typically, it's the other way around.
Now Guzman, Leathers. Asante threading his way through.
Well done to keep hold of the ball there. Good battle.
And now Dixon gets a shot on and a nice save from Luis Softner.
Don't think the left-footed strike from distance is one of Dixon's strengths, but he was able to get in, cut inside, and was able to get into a good position. Why not let it go, give it a chance?
Leathers. That's out for a Rochester throw in, quickly taken.
Charlotte feeling like that ball had deflected off of Sanchez. So that's both teams now which have been disappointed by a call there on the sideline.
And Duckett, bad first touch, recovers. Asante back to Noonan. Noonan with the swerve pass over to Dixon. Dixon to Yates. Thompson trying to go over to Johnny Leathers, but was unable to connect. And then you see Patron dispossessing Thompson there. That's going to be nowhere near Huapeu. That's going to be an Eagles throw in.
2.5 minutes or so to go here in normal time for the first half. Important for Charlotte to finish out strong, stay focused, finish the half. Don't start to shut it down now. Ends of halves can be moments where there can be mental lapses, moments of relaxation mentally that can open up opportunities.
Roseboom now. Roseboom's always a danger to take a long shot. Good slide tackle / clearance there from Richard Dixon.
Like to see Herrera pointing out runners and marks, making sure everyone stays on task with the defensive assignments.
Now over to Josie Sanchez, Huapeu. Garzi trying to find it in to Vu, but Vu would have been called offsides.
And they are going to give the offsides, even though he never actually received the ball. Greer coming back across was able to clear it out, but I'm going to say he was involved in the play, and they'll give the offsides.
Should be due for about 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Alex Can had a ball flash across the front of his goal that he went down and pushed out, and then it came out and punched away a corner kick. But other than that, has not had a lot to do here in the first half.
Throw in quickly taken. Crowd reacting to Roseboom's high boot there. And now Slogich going to back pass to Sofner. And it is going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time. Bad pass there, but Asante gets to it. He's unable to find Herrera. And now Guzman, you could hear Luis Sofner shouting to his teammates, take care of the ball.
Yeah, Guzman and Newnham have done a really good job of reading play and stepping in and intercepting passes that Rochester's tried to get out of pressure, keeping them from connecting with the front players. But a lot of that comes from players like Asante and Thompson and Herrera, putting good pressure, making things predictable, closing down the options so that the Rochester players really only have one choice, and then Newnham and Herrera can read those.
Vu. His shot deflected by Greer. Now Roseboom trying to feed it through to Huapeu, but too much on it, and that's going to be a goal kick.
That was one of those balls got caught under Thompson's feet there and gave the ball back to Roseboom. That one of those plays that really happens here on this turf, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but you can count on a few times a half. Quick giveaway as the ball gets caught under somebody's feet.
Can booms this one in, looking for Herrera. And Tony Walls comes out on top, but that's off of him for an Eagles throw in. Dixon looking for Yates. Going to be off of Slogich. And again, Dixon going to take the throw in. And that's going to do it for the first half. As you see, Richard Dixon coming over and high-fiving some of the campers. But Eagles head into halftime with a 1-0 lead from a Jorge Herrera PK goal. We're going to take a quick 15-minute break, and we'll be back for the second half. Stay with us.
Do you know who will answer when you call your merchant service provider? Our customers do. Personalized service and no annual contracts motivate us to earn and keep your business. Visit Allegiance Merchant Services online today to experience the Allegiance difference at AllegianceMerchantServices.com. Allegiance, the official payment processor for the Charlotte Eagles.
Camps with the Charlotte Eagles is the craziest, most insane thing that you'll ever love.
We teach them skills of the day.
We work on passing, shooting.
We try to have as professional of teaching as we can. We have fun days like Wacky Wednesday and Jersey Thursday. We have contests every morning and prizes, and we just have a blast.
It's so much bigger than the game of soccer.
Soccer camp, a place that you wouldn't really expect them to get Jesus, we can give it to them. It's just a way where we can love kids and we can teach them about the Lord and about how much He loves them.
They're all about the soccer, and then they love the Bible time.
The Elite Camp, we basically try and take our normal camps but step it up a notch. So Elite Camp, we try to pick up the quality, choose more challenging drills, and really try and push the kids athletically to see if they can improve and learn something new.
All girls camp is really fun. Guys aren't allowed. If any guys come close to the fence, they start screaming, no boys allowed.
I've never seen more kids that have been more encouraging. Running up telling each other good job, giving high fives, it's really been a cool thing.
But at these camps, you know, the coaches really care about your kids.
But we take it very seriously, the instruction that hopefully they grow as a player in soccer. We come and we grow them as soccer players, as athletes, but also just as people. Things like honesty and sportsmanship.
How much can we invest in these kids' lives for the short period of time that we have?
There's tons of kids, tons of energy, and God works miracles through that week.
Well, sports ministry is like the gospel in action. You're able to speak the gospel, but you're also able to be an example on the field and doing something that you love.
Soccer is the #1 sport in the world. You can go anywhere, all you need is a ball. It's the perfect tool, in my mind, to share the gospel.
So many people in so many different cultures play soccer is probably the biggest because it's all around the world.
I think my favorite thing is actually playing matches against other teams and then afterwards getting to share with them.
Being able to show the love of God while you're playing and more so afterwards when you're able to talk with people one-on-one or even to a crowd, explaining why you're doing what you're doing.
Have those intentions of, okay, I'm going to use this not for myself but to benefit others. God just takes that and just expands it and just blows it up bigger than you could ever imagine.
Training is a core part of what we do to accomplish our mission, a season of training to prepare players for a lifetime of service.
We try to do what we call sports ministry training, where we're training our men to take their faith and put it on the field. That's through transformation.
Going through the material, the sports ministry training material, of just kind of a theology of sports ministry and learning more deeper about how God wants us to be in the context of sport.
That's the standard of excellence you're going to have.
We all enjoy the game. I love to coach, I love to play. All these guys are driven, they're competitive, but investing in these guys on the spiritual side, that's what I get excited about, and that I get to do it within the environment of soccer.
It's a phenomenal place to grow. From the staff around you, to the opportunities you get, to the leadership you can provide for the team, the perfect place to be as an athlete.
I love being a part of, I guess, just a Christian organization that is so fired up about God and using soccer as their ministry.
There are a lot of guys that are really serious about growing spiritually, and I've been mentored by several so far already.
I was challenged to not only improve myself on the field, I was able to grow in certain things off of the field as well. I don't think I'd be the person I am today without the organization altogether.
Being at camp with kids, I felt more alive than I've ever felt.
As we try to teach kids how to play soccer, to get better, we also share Christ with them, which is our main purpose here.
This camp of 200 is being led by two of our student leaders, and they're doing an excellent job giving them a practical experience in leadership.
Over in Japan, we do clinics for kids as well as playing different university teams. And even though there's a language barrier, playing soccer always helps break it down. And
I mean, especially when we go to Brazil, it's Portuguese as the language and then soccer. And immediately the kids just respond to us because we play soccer, we invest in their lives, and now they're open to hear about the gospel.
You go across the country and you pick up a ball, and within 10 minutes you have 50 to 100 kids surrounding you, and so just knowing that it can easily build relationships. And
how one sport, how one soccer ball and a smile can unite two teams who can't even communicate because we don't even understand each other. It's hard to describe, and being a part of it has been such a blessing.
I was really feeling that we were supposed to live alongside people, to move into neighborhoods, to move into cities that need Christ's light, and just let Christ's Spirit flow through us there. Sports ministry, being a sports minister, brought us into the neighborhood. We were using soccer to build relationships with the kids through soccer practice and playing soccer out on the field.
My heart is to see this whole community transformed by God's love. And so it started with us rolling out a soccer ball 2 years ago and bringing a couple snacks. And so we'd play soccer for an hour, hour and a half.
We are to have deep relationships with the families here and serve in whatever place that you can.
They're equipped to go take what they've learned and duplicate it, replicate it in another culture, back at their college team, wherever they go to coach. But we hope that by the time they've spent the summer with us, they're empowered to go out and change the world and make life changes.
And so we just want to be intentional through a motivating platform that draws youth, it's a magnet to youth, to provide that platform to be able to share that message of hope with the youth of the world.
Do you know who will answer when you call your merchant service provider? Our customers do. Personalized service and no annual contracts motivate us to earn and keep your business. Visit Allegiance Merchant Services online today to experience the Allegiance difference at AllegianceMerchantServices.com. Allegiance, the official payment processor for the Charlotte Eagles.
Camps with the Charlotte Eagles is the craziest, most insane thing that you'll ever love.
We teach them skills of the day.
We work on passing, shooting.
We try to have as professional of teaching as we can. We have fun days like Wacky Wednesday and Jersey Thursday. We have contests every morning and prizes, and we just have a blast.
It's so much bigger than the game of soccer.
Soccer camp, a place that you wouldn't really expect them to get Jesus, we can give it to them. It's just a way where we can love kids and we can teach them about the Lord and about how much He loves them.
They're all about the soccer, and then they love the Bible time.
The elite camp, we basically try and take our normal camps but step it up a notch. So elite camp, we try to pick up the quality, choose more challenging drills, and really try and push the kids athletically to see if they can improve and learn something new.
All girls camp is really fun. Guys aren't allowed. If any guys come close to the fence, they start screaming, "No boys allowed."
I've never seen more kids that have been more encouraging. Running up, telling each other good job, giving high fives, it's really been a cool thing.
But at these camps, you know, the coaches really care about your kids.
But we take it very seriously, the instruction that hopefully they grow as a player in soccer. We come and we grow them as soccer players, as athletes, but also just as people. Things like honesty and sportsmanship.
How much can we invest in these kids' lives for the short period of time that we have?
There's tons of kids, tons of energy, and God works miracles through that week. Camps with the Charlotte Eagles is the craziest, most insane thing that you'll ever love.
We teach them skills of the day.
We work on passing, shooting.
We try to have as professional of teaching as we can. We have fun days like Wacky Wednesday and Jersey Thursday. We have contests every morning and prizes, and we just have a blast.
It's so much bigger than the game of soccer.
Soccer camp, a place that you wouldn't really expect them to get Jesus, we can give it to them. It's just a way where we can love kids and we can teach them about the Lord and about how much He loves them.
They're all about the soccer, and then they love the Bible time.
The elite camp, we basically try and take our normal camps but step it up a notch. So elite camp, we try to pick up the quality, choose more challenging drills, and really try and push the kids athletically to see if they can improve and learn something new.
All girls camp is really fun. Guys aren't allowed. If any guys come close to the fence, they start screaming, "No boys allowed."
I've never seen more kids that have been more encouraging. Running up, telling each other good job, giving high fives, it's really been a cool thing.
But at these camps, you know, the coaches really care about your kids.
But we take it very seriously, the instruction that hopefully they grow as a player in soccer. We come and we grow them as soccer players, as athletes, but also just as people. Things like honesty and sportsmanship.
How much can we invest in these kids' lives for the short period of time that we have?
There's tons of kids, tons of energy, and God works miracles through that week.
Do you know who will answer when you call your merchant service provider? Our customers do. Personalized service and no annual contracts motivate us to earn and keep your business. Visit Allegiance Merchant Services online today to experience the Allegiance difference at AllegianceMerchantServices.com. Allegiance, the official payment processor for the Charlotte Eagles.
And we're back for the second half here in Charlotte. The Eagles with a 1-0 lead off of a Jorge Herrera penalty kick. Doesn't look like we have any halftime substitutions to report. Be interesting to see how much pressure Rochester puts early, trying to get an early equalizer in the second half.
Sure, how far forward do they push Sunley, the first half substitute for the injured Colin Rolfe? They've got Huopeo playing a little further forward as the striker. Will they press Sunley on to join him? How much will they commit Sanchez and Walls forward as the outside backs, try and get some more numbers into the attack? And then what will that leave coming the other way for Asante and Herrera and Yates, the front three for the Eagles, along with Thompson. So it should be a good second half. Rochester gets it started, having traded their green and yellow stripes, which actually Sofner is wearing in the goal, but their typical classic strip, their legendary USL strip for the all white here on the road tonight. Eagles in their traditional orange tops, playing at home here at Dixon Field, Queen's University of Charlotte.
Now, Hoffer looking for Patron. Patron gets tied up. Roseboom struggled there with Thompson, but manages to control it. Now it's over to Patron, who gave it away. And now Jorge Herrera in the counter feeds it up to Wells Thompson. And Slogich manages to get to it, keep it in play. Now Patron gets tied up with Juan Guzman. And that's going to be a foul on Guzman.
Guzman might have been fortunate to get away without a card there, pulling down Patron from behind. Could have been seen as a bit of a professional foul, slow things up.
Thompson battling with Slogich. Slogich gets it over to Hoffer. And don't forget, for score, stats, news, and more, everything you could possibly want to know about USL Pro, it's all online at uslprosoccer.com. And go ahead and visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook. That's facebook.com/USL Pro. And give the league a follow on Twitter at USL Pro. And speaking of Twitter, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. So give at Nike Soccer a follow on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. As the referee says play on.
Yeah, Guzman put his head down towards the ball, which calls the ref to say it wasn't dangerous. Guzman was asking for it.
Sanchez curling this one in, but Can handles it easily. Alec Can on loan from the Chicago Fire. At one point, the Eagles had 3 players on loan from MLS clubs. Giuseppe Gentile, was on loan from the Fire, but he was sold by Chicago to Orlando City. And David Estrada was on loan from the Sounders, and he was traded to DC United. So, no loanees other than Can. Patron getting tied up with Guzman, and now Yates. Thompson over to Asante. He flicks it, trying to flick it to Leathers, but Sanchez gets there and clears it out.
Decent idea. Yeah, not a bad idea. Just got to let that develop a little bit more. Give Leathers a chance to, give him a chance to get around Sanchez. But a good spell there. A few quick passes from the Eagles in combination.
Go all the way back to Duckett.
You know, you're saying there, But getting players on loan, guys coming down from the MLS and then getting picked up by other teams or traded away. It's just kind of a part of the life of a USL Pro club. Every one of these teams has guys that are either loaned out through an affiliation with an MLS team or players that they've picked up with through individual work with agents or whatnot. And those guys can oftentimes really help your club, but if you lean on them too much and then they're gone, they get brought back up. There's a good ball sent in there. Ken takes it easily.
He quickly distributes.
But there's a part of that, though, that if you lean on them too much and then they get brought back up or moved on to another club, it can be an interesting dynamic within the team.
You saw that last year with Dom Dwyer after he was recalled by Sporting KC. Orlando still played great, but wasn't near the level they were with Dwyer, and brought him back for the championship game against the Eagles.
Good decision.
And, yeah, he showed his class and scored 4 goals. Ended up being the difference in the 7-4 victory. Highest scoring USL Pro championship ever.
Might be the highest scoring soccer final anywhere ever. Yeah, you could see there Huopeo asking the linesman, referee assistant on that side, why the ball that deflected off of Leathers and out for a throw-in wasn't given as a handball. Felt like his cross was clearly blocked off of the arm of Leathers, but I think the assistant saying it was too close, nothing he could do about it. Hand was next to the body.
Leathers on the ball now, trying to feed it up to Yates. And Sanchez, Patron back to Hoffer. He goes all the way back to Softner.
Wow. Sogic got all of that one. But overhit Sunley by a good 20 yards. So far, Rochester has been able to connect a few passes through the midfield, going laterally through Roseboom and Garcia, but haven't found a way to be consistently dangerous getting forward into the final third.
Yates over to Leathers. Leathers gives way to Yates. Guzman over to Greer. And Herrera. He does a roundabout way. Now Guzman over to Asante. Flicks it in for Yates, but then it's cleared out by Hoffer. Now Sundley. Roseboom goes over to Walls.
You can tell there Walls is a right-footed left back. There's been times where he could attack the space and potentially played something in with his left foot. And when he has the opportunity, wants to cut it back onto his right foot, which sometimes disrupts the flow of the attack. Makes it a little more difficult for players to read him.
A foul called on Vu. He got tangled up with Dixon.
Ken going to go all the way out wide to take the kick. Yeah, Thompson had a hold of Slojic there on the jersey and the shorts, I think. About his only chance to get a piece of that long ball. If you can, you want to hit it just about anywhere but in the direction of Slogich. He's going to win almost every one of those.
Trying to feed it up to Huapeo. And Duckett did the back pass to Can, and Can cleared it out. Now Walls to Roseboom. Sanchez. Trying to thread it up to Garzi.
Yeah, just not much connecting right now for Rochester in the attack. Charlotte with the lead, not overextending themselves going forward. So it kind of settled into a midfield battle here.
As Hoffer and Thompson were battling for that.
Some shirt pulling going on both ways there. I guess the ref didn't know where it started, so just allowed it to continue on. One thing I think Rochester struggled with is you can see number 18 here, Patron, sliding central, which would create space for Sanchez to get forward, but neither he nor Walls on the other side have really looked interested in trying to get into this weak side space. So as the ball gets switched here, there would be space out on the right side for Sanchez to get into, but they haven't really looked for that a lot. It's ended up causing them to play pretty narrow, force things right up the middle.
And speaking of Patron, he is going to be substituted off for Johnny Mendoza. And Josie Sanchez is going to come off. And Rochester talisman J.C. Banks is going to come on, leading goal scorer for the Rhinos.
See how that changes things up. Looks like Banks is going to play off of Huapeo.
Vu being tangled up and fouls Dixon for the Eagles free kick.
It appears Rochester's dropped Garzi, number 13, back into the right back position to take the place of Sanchez. And then Mendoza's going to play wide right where Petroni was.
Hoffer stepping up to intercept that.
And there you have it. That's the space that Sanchez wasn't really getting into, but Garzi, first opportunity he gets, pressing forward a little bit, trying to give him another number in the attack.
A foul on Roseboom.
And Hoffer there at center back, mixing it up with Thompson. No love being lost between those two right now.
Guzman's pass to Asante, cut off. Now Huapeo.
A little casual from Guzman there in the midfield. Got to value the ball.
Santi wins that away, but promptly gives it away to Hoffer.
And, you know, having Garzi push this far forward as the outside back, you can see how deep it's forcing Asante back in the back. Watt looking to draw some contact there, or excuse me, Banks trying to draw contact there with Duckett, see if he can win a free kick at the top of the box.
Huapeo managing to slip past Greer. Leathers comes over and clears it. And
Great.
Boo being dispossessed by Dixon.
A great tackle.
But Dixon promptly gives it away. Now Roseboom. Mendoza shot, diving save from Alec Can.
Yeah, you see Duckett just with his hands out, calming down the Charlotte players, telling them to just settle down. A few times in a row there with the ball's been given away pretty cheap in the midfield, which forces play right back down your throat.
Thompson managing to get past Slogich. And that's going to be a foul on Slogich.
There's been a lot of shirt pulling going on there in the forward line of the Eagles' attack there in the second half.
You can see the ref telling him no more.
Between Hoffer and Slogich and Thompson, they've had a handful of each other's jerseys just about every time the ball's been down there.
Slogich has put together a fantastic night for Rochester. He would love to have that corner kick header back.
Yeah, early chance, probably the best one Rochester's had so far.
Jorge Herrera is going to step up to take this free kick. He curls it in, but no trouble for Softner. He goes over to Garzi. Now Hoffer. Sundley over to Walls. Roseboom.
Good pick out there.
Can immediately distributes over to Gideon Asante. He tried to poke it into Wells Thompson.
Charlotte, though, unable to really find Thompson and allow Yates and Noonan to run off him, which I feel like would be the plan. Nearly slipped through by Herrera. Both teams giving the ball away in some bad spots, but then neither team able to capitalize on it, really do anything with it once they gain possession in an area where they've got the defense open and exposed.
Another corner kick for the Eagles. Herrera trotting over to take it, and Duckett and Greer coming forward into the box. Herrera curls this one in. J.J. Greer's there. It's on target.
It was Mendoza staying home on the post.
Herrera again on target. Softner smothering it. Mendoza on the near post just body blocks it and then cleared it away. Now Roseboom looking to find Boo.
Well won by Dixon.
Given away by Guzman. A little miscommunication between him and Noonan. Hoffer over to Slogich.
You've got Fred Tucheri on the bench who could come in, bring a little life to the midfield. See if we don't see him pretty soon, maybe for Noonan or Guzman.
Threading that one in to Mendoza.
The ball stayed on the line. Even though Mendoza fell out of bounds, the ball stayed inbounds.
This eventually cleared away by Duckett.
But right now, Charlotte struggling, other than the one spell where they won the free kick, but just in the flow of play, struggling to really possess the ball, get their lines cleared, force Rochester to defend in its own half. It's going to be a long 25 final minutes if you can't get your foot on the ball and keep it more than they have been.
It looks like Fred Sacheri is going to come on. Now Yates trying to thread it through to Thompson.
They're looking for that ball every time, and it does look like it's on, but really there when Yates is on that ball, Newnham's releasing out of the midfield, and maybe one more pass through the midfield helps Charlotte get numbers forward. It's not an all or nothing gamble to play Thompson in.
Sacheri comes on for Guzman. Just providing some fresh legs.
The question will be, can Sacheri stay home, take care of the defensive responsibilities? We know he can get forward, he can run and join the attack. But Guzman does such a good job of staying between the ball and the goal, reading play, intercepting passes. That'll be what Charlotte will primarily need from Sacheri here down the home stretch.
Now Walls trying to thread it up to Huapeir. It's going to be an Eagles throw in. Might see Matt Gold come in for maybe Ben Newnham and allow Sacheri to get back to his usual position.
Yeah, we've seen Gold play in the midfield a bit more here recently, which is something he was used to in his collegiate and early professional days, but with Charlotte primarily used as a center back until midway through this campaign. Yeah, Charlotte doing a lot of defending right now. All that said, they have not allowed Rochester to get behind them. They've kept things in front of them, picked off enough passes, made things difficult enough that they've forced Rochester to make some plays like that and knock a ball out of touch. So at 1-0 up, if you're Charlotte, you don't mind that the game's a midfield battle. You'd like to have your foot on the ball a little bit more than they do. But as long as Rochester isn't creating chances, I don't think you're overly concerned.
Sundley.
That's good pressure there.
Forcing the misplay. Going to be a throw in for the Eagles.
Good defense as a unit there between Yates and Asante and Newnham. Squeeze that ball out of the outside back. Force the giveaway.
That's a Cherry. His pass looking for Herrera. Instead found Tony Walls. Now Mendoza looking for Huapeir. Unable to connect.
You just sense a little bit from Rochester that it's the second night of a back-to-back. And they're struggling to just find that little bit of energy, that little bit of pace to separate themselves from a defender. Run in behind, really be dangerous. Ideas are there, some possession is there, but unable to really be dangerous with a change of pace.
Herrera now worn away by Roseboom. Over to Mendoza. He threads it through for Huapeir. Goes back in for Sundley. Gets past the Cherry. Now Mendoza looking for Vu, but too much on it. And that's going to be a goal kick.
Good work from Sundley to maintain possession and get it out from under his feet there. And, you know, Rochester does have a guy on the field now in J.C. Banks who just needs a half a chance, just needs a sniff. So Greer and Duckett will really need to be on their toes as Rochester's got both Banks and Huapeo pressed up top. Now it's up to the other guys to try and give them a little better service, get them the ball a little higher up the field. See if they can make something happen here in the final 20 minutes of regulation.
Mendoza misplays that. And now Leathers to Asante. Sacheri trying to thread it over to Dixon. Connects with him. Walls manages to win it away.
Referee gonna tell Huapeo to get up and carry on. Greer was on his back, but ref feeling like he played the ball, didn't use his hands.
Asante into Leathers. Moves forward. Flicks it over to Thompson, who tries to thread it through to Leathers. Noonan chips it in for Thompson. Softner able to make the save.
That was much, much better from Charlotte, though. Not choosing the most advanced ball right away, being a little more patient, playing across the midfield, allowing numbers to get forward, giving people on the ball options, instead of just going for the first thing you see for this guy forward. And then Noonan nearly picked out his fellow former Demon Deacon Thompson. Well read by Softner, though, to come off his line and be brave and step in front and collect that.
Sacheri goes back to Can. Duckett into Noonan. Noonan going over to Herrera. Herrera trying to feed it in for Thompson, but Softner gets there.
You could see what he wanted, just to try and curl that ball a little bit more. See if he could bring it back into the path of Thompson. Early ball in behind. Again, though, Softner playing off his line, reading that play well. Able to come out and collect it pretty easily.
Looks like we've got a pair of substitutions waiting. Going to be one for each team. And it's going to be Huapeu coming off for Rochester. And that's Alex Dixon coming on for him. And Wells Thompson is going to come off, give way for Zach Boggs. You could see on that last dangerous chance there that Thompson didn't quite have the legs.
Yeah, and actually after his collision with Softner, reached and grabbed his toe to pull it back as if he was trying to fight off a calf cramp. So he ran hard. A lot of runs like this one from Boggs to try and get behind the center backs.
He forces an error as that's off of Hoffer for a corner. Drew Yates is going to trot over and take it.
So Thompson got his money's worth in the 72, 73 minutes that he played tonight. A lot of energy, a lot of pace, trying to get in behind, make those center backs work.
And correction, Herrera over, and Yates with him. The ref having words with, looks like Sacheri and Mendoza. No, Garzi. It's long. And Greer gets to it, but it's one away.
Unfortunate there for Rochester. Slojic hitting it off his own man. Looked like straight off a rose boom and out of bounds for a throw in for the Eagles. Dixon with the big throw.
Gets it into the box. Trying to find Sacheri. When Slogich was there, there's about 2 feet of difference between the two of them.
Well, yeah, the Rochester bench clearly
Livid.
upset. Yeah, and it seemed pretty obvious from here that I don't know if the ref was waiting to see if another Rochester player picked the ball up and could give advantage, but yeah, it was a foul, but it wasn't there. You're going to need to move it back to a little closer to where it happened.
But now Gideon Asante is going to give way for Guy Brandau.
Left-footed Brazilian. Be a like-for-like swap out there on the left flank.
And Onwa Obasi is going to come on for Kyle Hoffer. He sent it in, but it's one away. Brandau on the counter. Gets it over to Boggs. Not the best first touch.
Yeah, lost his angle a little bit, but.
And shot goes way wide.
Worked his way back free for a shot, but yeah, like you said, could have used a better angle towards goal on that first touch. Ran himself out of an initial dangerous position. You know, on this turf, every once in a while you see a free kick or a long ball that just comes up short, just doesn't get off the ground. That one came straight to the feet of Brandau, who took it on the counterattack right at the Rochester defense.
Garzi. Over to Roseboom. He's looking for Alex Dixon. And he lost it in his footing.
Yeah, you can see what he wanted to do, use Leather's momentum against him, bring that ball back inside. Just off the right foot and the left foot and out for a goal kick. Alex Can will be in no hurry to get this ball into play. The referee's aware of that too, asking him to move things along.
He booms this one in. There's Obasi winning the header there. And now Mendoza. And one away by Leathers. Now Noonan.
Seen free kicks given for less. Leathers did seem to be able to come across shoulder to shoulder. Was able to find a way to get side by side, but I feel like Sundley felt like he had done enough to earn a free kick there.
And now Sundley was trying to chip it forward for J.C. Banks. That's out for an Eagles throw-in.
Dixon just puts his left foot through it. No nonsense. Gets it out of danger.
Softener to Walls. Tony Walls has moved into a center back position when Onwahu Obasi came on. Going to have another Eagles substitution. It's going to be Jorge Herrera coming off, and Tolani Ibakunle is going to come on. So all three Demon Deacons on the Eagles roster seeing the field tonight. Ibakunle, Noonan, and Thompson.
And Ibakunle is going to play that wide midfield position where Herrera was, even though frequently, most often plays an outside back. At this point, defense is what they need first, so he'll play in front of Dixon and give them two natural outside backs out there.
That's going to be a card presented. The yellow card given. That's Johnny Mendoza for blatant arguing.
Yeah, I guess for dissent with the, pretty aggressive there with the ref and his body language and his words.
Brandau into
Great
Boggs, cleared out by Walls.
Brilliant ball from Brandau, threading that in.
Ibakunle back to Dixon. Ibakunle now. Now Boggs chips it in. And that's the insurance goal, likely for the Eagles. As Ben Noonan chipped it in for Boggs, and he slipped it past Lewis Softner.
Yeah, that ball came back from Ibakunle to Noonan, had time to pick his head up. Good run through the defense by Boggs and perfectly weighted, threaded pass from Noonan. Brilliant ball, great vision to slide that through and then to execute it to where Boggs could get there before the keeper. Just slipped it past Softner.
And Alec Can was so excited he came up to join the celebration. As now Rochester's going to be playing a lot more aggressively.
And you had just mentioned, Hunter, that Watts had moved over, or Walls rather, had moved over to center back. And I think if that's Hoffer and Slojic, they probably are able to sort out that run from Boggs a little bit easier. But you've got a new center back pairing there, a guy who's been playing the outside back now, having to organize, sort out runs coming across him. Boggs slipped through.
Mendoza's over to take the corner, curls it in, and behind.
Yeah, gonna say
goal kick.
Yeah, say that it went out and came back in. That was a great goal from Charlotte. Not necessarily from the actual finish, a good composed finish, pushing it in the bottom corner, but that goal was all about the timing of the run, the execution of the run, and then a brilliant pass from Noonan to set that up. I think another
over to take the throw in.
As I said, another encouraging thing for Charlotte out of tonight, besides the fact that they're up 2-0 with 7 minutes to play, would be how long Herrera was able to stay on the field. Veteran player with a nagging hamstring injury. You get worried this late in the season how long he's going to be able to go. It's good to see him get 70 minutes in. Wasn't real dynamic getting up and down the line, but seemed mobile enough.
And don't forget, slided home the PK. Now, as Alec Can came out, tried to punch it out. And went off of, I think, Obasi.
Yeah, Obasi, another big target to go along with Slojic. They got him into the mix, and all of a sudden, interesting final 6 minutes.
All of a sudden, got a game again.
Yeah, that Boggs goal looking even more important right now.
Cherry threading it up to Yates. Yates keeping it in. And Brendale back to Yates.
Yeah, you have Rochester right back in the same scenario that they were in last night. Went down 2-0, got one back late on, and pressing for an equalizer. Last night, Charleston was able to hold on to it and secure a 2-1 victory. Charlotte will be looking to do the same here these final 5 minutes or so.
Kunle was called offsides. Brandau. Sacheri picked up by Roseboom. Mendoza, Roseboom. Boggs tracking back. And that's off of Sundley for the Eagles throw in. Good assist from the Charlotte Eagles campers. The ball was resting up against the fence, and he kicked it to
Gave it
Johnny
just a little
Leathers through
kick.
the fence.
Yeah.
That's another foul on Mendoza. Ref telling him one more, and he'll pick up a second yellow. And now Yates over to Brendale. Bit of cheeky play there, and then that's going to be headed out by Obasi. Sundley. Obasi coming forward.
Good play by Newnham.
Newnham into Ibekunle. Boggs giving it back to Sacheri.
That's going to work.
Flicked it forward. Brendale. But Garzi manages to get to it. Now Sundley. Obasi.
Ooh. Gonna allow play to go on, but that was a sliding tackle from behind, yeah.
Ibekunle gonna give it back to J.J. Greer. And he goes all the way back to Alec Can.
Mendoza flying forward to put pressure on Can.
Hoping to force another mistake.
But well done by Ibekunle to knock that down for Yates.
Now Leathers on a forward run. Yates gives way to Brendale. Now Sacheri. Yates. Spins around, finds Guy Brendale, who crosses it in. Obasi heads it out. But Ben Newnham's there to corral it.
Feeling it after that assist that he picked up a while back, testing his luck
Newnham
on
has
frame.
scored off of goals from farther.
Yeah, definitely has the ability to score from range.
Duckett nods it back to Can.
See what Rochester still has in the tank here in the final minutes of the second game of the weekend, back-to-back. Real test for them, knowing that they definitely invested some energy in trying to make a comeback last night. Rochester currently sitting in 7th position as Brendale gets free again.
Goes over to Yates. Obasi coming over to defend. Now Boggs. It slots it through. He nutmegs Sofner. Zach Boggs with a brace in 18 minutes.
Super sub.
Boggs showing his class. Not spectacular finishes, although that one, nutmegging the keeper, was spectacular.
He had a chance, and you thought he might try and hit it with his left foot across the keeper early, but he realized he had enough time that he could square up, get it on his favored right foot and pick a spot. And yeah, Softner trying to be big and take away as much of the goal as he could. Offered that ball through the legs. Boggs took it.
And now Roseboom over to Vu. Obasi blocked by Dixon. And now Alex Dixon for Rochester gets a shot, and it goes wide.
We went about 75 minutes with very few chances, and now there's picked up.
Game starting to open up.
Put 3 goals and a couple of other good chances on the board here in the last 10 minutes of the game.
We're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time. Slow gets misplaying that clearance a little bit, and Ibakunle was fouled. The free kick quickly taken back to Sacheri. And now Vu goes back to Softner, who's having to race over to get to it.
Good work from Boggs to not let it out easily. I think that haven't heard much from J.C. Banks. It's been Rochester's main guy in attack throughout the season. Primary scoring threat. Has not been able to get on the end of much this evening. Some players struggle to come off the bench to step into a game that's already going. You get them in there fresh from the start. They can grow into the game as it goes. But Banks so far tonight, and for him coming off having played big minutes last night, might just be lacking the legs.
Can clears that. And Sundley. And Noonan with the diving block. Now Minvu.
Well, the odds are against Charlotte, but 3 points here against the 7th place team keeps.
As Yates, dangerous, and he almost rolled in after the initial save from Softner. Yates didn't follow his shot, to use a basketball term.
But fortunately for Softner, his defender did. It was Garzi, scrambled back, kept it out of the net. But yeah, Charlotte, Coach Steffens will still feel like they've got a chance, something to play for these last few games.
Got a big matchup Wednesday against league leaders Orlando City. And a misplay there from Dixon, giving it away to Banks, but Dixon recovers and clears it away. And that's going to do it. Eagles secure 3 points and sweep Rochester on the season. 1-0 victory earlier this year,
yeah.
And now a big victory.
Big 3 points to give them a little momentum going into the Orlando game. Try and pick up some points down the home stretch, see if they can't sneak into the playoffs. For Rochester, 2 losses in the road trip. Need to get home and get healthy and try and pick up some points. I think they have Harrisburg in their next 2 matches. So big games there for them to try and lock up a playoff spot.
Powerade player of the game is super sub Zach Boggs, getting a brace tonight. 2 goals in 20 minutes of play. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll be back Wednesday night for the Orlando City game. That's 7 o'clock. If you want to come watch it, CharlotteEagles.com to get your tickets. And we will see you Wednesday.
Do you know who will answer when you call your merchant service provider? Our customers do. Personalized service and no annual contracts motivate us to earn and keep your business. Visit Allegiance Merchant Services online today to experience the Allegiance difference at AllegianceMerchantServices.com. Allegiance, the official payment processor for the Charlotte Eagles.